Hey HCDA and welcome back to Incremental Week. Today I want to show you a longer and more complex game in the genre, and what better way to do this on this particular channel than to answer the question, what happens when you take an actual existing factory game and make an incremental version of it? Well, welcome to Factory Town Idle. Before we dive in, I actually want to point out that I think this is one of the best designed incremental games out there, mostly because you can actually fine-tune how hard or easy it is, how long or hard the gameplay will actually be, but also, for example, how much idle time you will be spending versus how much active play you do. And a lot of these games do not have that, so they tend to be either very active, so you need to invest a lot of your time in that, or they are very grindy, and that means you just sit around waiting for a long time. Both of those things can actually be good depending on what you want, but this game kind of lets you fine-tune that based on your own preferences. This game also has the nice benefit of looking really pretty. So let me walk you through what we're seeing here. We're currently in the plains, we have our own city, and we're going to be leveling up that city over here with the town level, which we need to increase by gaining XP. We have a limited amount of land we can build on, so this limits the amount of buildings that we can just plop down. We have a need for workers to actually be employed in those buildings to produce stuff for us, and we need to keep them happy. That's actually quite a lot of mechanics for the general start of a incremental game. Now, in order to do all of that, we have some trees over here that are regrowing at a rate of about 15 per second at the moment, and we can only make lumber. We'll get to produce a lot more difficult stuff, of course, but for now, that is it. We also have some quests over here. We have a quest to harvest 10 wood, and if we do that, we are going to be unlocking new buildings in quests, and we also get quest rewards, quest coin rewards, I should say, that we can then use to get our upgrades. Since currently we have 0 workers to do any work for us, we'll have to do it by ourselves. And we can just click this button to get some manual crops, but we can also just hold the button and make that a lot easier. As you can see, we now have some wood. We completed our quest, so we can click on this. We got a quest coin, and now we can start building houses. And we also have a quest to build houses. Pretty straightforward so far. And as you can see, now we can start building a house. And there we go, yet another quest completed. Now we get told to build a harvester hut. This is very linear so far, but I promise you this will become a lot more complex really quickly. Okay, so we have 3 workers because we built that house. And in order to put them to work, they will need a place to actually do that work. So we are going to be building a harvester hut. And now we've done that, we actually have a production capacity of 2, so we can start assigning those people to start working in this harvester hut and harvest the lumber for us. As you can see, we are now actually slowly gaining a little bit of lumber. Okay, so let's unlock this, and we get a new reward. We can also now get a quest to assign workers, and in order to do that, we're going to need to build a couple more harvester huts and assign people in those harvester huts to start working. Okay, so let's see. We are going to be building a couple of huts. We needed 5 of those, I believe, but we can only build 2 more because we need more houses in order to do that. So let's build a couple of houses. Once those are done, we can queue up some more harvester huts. And as you can see, we now have a growing population. We did use quite a bit of our land. And you can also see that the lumber that we had in stock was running back a little bit while we were building stuff, because we do need those materials in order to build pretty much anything. But now we're no longer spending it, we are slowly regaining it. We are regrowing less trees now because we're cutting down some of the trees while they are regrowing. So there's a balancing act that will happen here. Now all we need to do is assign a couple of people to the tree harvester. We built 5 huts, we have the 3 harvesters assigned. So now we can unlock this quest. And we now get a new building, that's a general store, that will be key to selling our items and starting to make some money. Okay, so obviously that's the next thing we're going to be doing. Look at the land plots. This is slowly going down. It's not a problem, but it's something to keep an eye on. And then we want to start producing 200 yellow coins. Those are not these coins that we got from the quest, but these are the coins over here in our inventory that we can get by selling stuff in the general store. So in order to do that, we can start selling some of the lumber we're cutting down. As you can see, we are currently producing 1 per second, but it's only 1 per second because we're selling 1 per second and we're completely stocked up. So if I queue this up a little higher, we now start selling 2 per second, but we're also producing 2 per second. Now, if I take this up a notch, I will actually need to build another general store in order to do that, because we need more people to assign. As you can see, we're now selling 4, but we're only producing 2. So we need to make sure that we balance this out, because right now we're spending more than we're gaining, which means we can't actually build anything new because we're no longer having lumber. Well, at least as soon as this runs down, we won't have the capability to build anything more. So we probably want to sell a little bit less than we're making, just so that we don't need to manually do this. It's worth noting that while we're actually producing this lumber, we are gaining some experience, and the more experience we have, the more we're actually producing. So just producing the stuff itself gains us more of that in the long run as well. We are now selling it, so we're producing those yellow coins. We still need to build a couple of houses, so let's start working on that and queue that up. And we can also start looking at perks now. Perks we buy with the quest coins, and they all give us nice boosts. So we can, for example, increase our click power if we want to manually produce stuff. We can get more experience, we can get more house workers per house. The market sell speed is actually pretty nice. It means we can get more money, and you can take these coins in and out of where you assign them. So if there's some point we think like, oh, maybe we need some more starting land, for example, because we're getting pretty low on that, we can assign that. But if we later then think, well, no, I actually want to set this to market speed, we can do that as well. I actually think maybe just setting it to skill speed is pretty nice. We actually did have the coin for that, and gaining more skills is always good in the long run as well, of course. Meanwhile, back in our town, let's see, we completed the 200 yellow coins. We have been selling a lot of stuff, and we built the houses, so let's claim all of that. We get some more quest coins, we get a lumber mill unlocked. Let's not hover over this, is really annoying. We are now able to produce planks, which will allow us to build more complicated buildings. And of course, the next quest is to build a lumber mill, so let's go ahead and do exactly that. Now you can see the general store actually allows us to sell 2 different items. So if we now want to not just start producing some planks, but also selling the planks, we need to assign both people to the lumber mill as well as the general store. Now I do want to start producing a little bit more planks than we're actually selling. It's also worth noting that, as you can see, we're gaining some happiness from selling this stuff. We're actually not giving everyone exactly what they need. So we would need to sell and produce a lot more wooden planks in order to do that. But this happiness is actually giving us experience towards the level of our town. So let me assign these people here. So let's stop selling planks for a moment so we can stock up on those, because we are going to need them. And let's check out the leveling up of our city. We'll gain some rewards every time we level up. You can click them one by one or just claim all, but I'll click them one by one for now. We get perk points, which is another currency that we can use to upgrade our town. We get some plots, so we can build more stuff in our town. And of course, we get some money. Well, I'm not sure if that's of course, we get a trivial amount of money, honestly. But yeah, it's just a little bonus. It's mostly the plots that I'm interested in, as well as the perk points, because those, again, will allow us to upgrade this specific town. What do we want? Maybe harvesting speed, that's never a bad thing, but this is a pretty substantial boost, 25% per level. And of course we're going to get more of these points later on, and then we can use those as well. Similarly, we actually have some coins to spend here as well. Do we actually have harvesting speed here as well? There's a lot of stuff unlocked over here, so we can't actually use that just yet. Yeah. I actually don't think any of this is particularly interesting for now, so let's just leave it until we actually need it. So, rewards, another quest coin, and we have the production for 200 planks now, so you can see the ramping up the production requirements. We need to reach level 2, and we need to build 15 houses. So, all of that is in production. Let's see, what do we have? 15 houses means that we just need to build 5 more of these, might as well. That also means we have a lot of people that we can put to work, so it might be time to queue up a couple of these harvester huts as well, and make sure that we just start producing as much wood as we can in those. That also means that we can start ramping up our plank production maybe a little bit. Let's take it up to 5 or so, and let's also make a couple of general stores. That makes use of a lot of our people. We still have some in surplus. We are of course still building some more huts. Why are we not building more? Oh, we actually now need planks. So the initial couple of huts just cost lumber, but now we actually need planks and money, and that is in production, so that's not a bad thing. Let's make sure we ramp that up a little bit. And yeah, this is going to be a little bit slow for now, but as we gain more people, let's actually not queue up all of these. We are producing more wood than we need, so let's focus on actually getting the planks up. This is the whole optimizing part, so at least this is part of the optimizing part. We need to make sure that we are focusing on what we actually want to produce rather than on just randomly clicking on stuff, because that is not going to be efficient for very long. So I've built a couple more of these lumber mills, a couple more harvester huts, and we're now producing that 15th house that we need. And we also have quite a few people that we can now assign to the general store. So let's start selling some more wood. We are still producing more than we are selling, so that's fine. Might have been a little bit overkill here, but we'll make use of these workers later somewhere else, don't worry. And we can also start selling maybe a little bit of this lumber. This gives us a huge amount of happiness, as you can see, and this is really boosting the experience gain that we have as well. That also means we have 3 quests completed. Let's see what that gets us. Okay, a lot of quest coins. We have a new building called the school, and we can start harvesting stone. We can prospect for rock. We have a lot of new quests. As you can see, things are now branching out quite quickly. We also gained level 2 in our city, so let's claim all of that. As you can see, that's a lot of more per points, a lot more places to build stuff, and some more coins. And let's put all of that to work as well. So, as you can see, we are now able to collect stone. So that means I probably want to take out a few of these. Let's see how low I can actually go. Now you can see it turns yellow. That means we are underproducing stuff. Let's scale it back up just to make sure it's in the green. And then we can assign everyone else in here to stone for now. As you can see, we're now at level 12 production of wood already, and just level 0 at stone. So you can see this is going a lot slower than this one in terms of the actual production that will ramp up as we can produce more. Okay, so and this is the part where things get a little bit confusing, because now we can start building things, and that's where the tabs come in. So we have tabs for buildings, the houses, schools, and stuff like that. We have a tab for harvesting, that's the core production, you could say, and then we have the more refined production under crafting and the market, where we can actually sell stuff. So it makes it easy to stay a little bit more organized than we would otherwise maybe be. Let's just start selling some stone. We are still producing more than we're selling, and that's really happy people, so we're really boosting through these levels faster than I can talk. But yeah, I do want to make sure we are all keeping track of what we're doing. Okay, so let's build a school, because what is a school going to do? Can I find that out somewhere? Probably. Let's just build one. I happen to know that this school will allow us to do research. Okay, so we have that. Let's claim the quest for the school and the stone production. And that allows us to have now research. We also get a stockpile, which is basically just storage. That allows us to store up more resources than we could otherwise do. What I didn't tell you, but it's actually worth noting, that the general store itself actually also has a little bit of storage room as well. And there's new perks unlocked and things like that. So as you can see, there's a lot of new stuff added, and we have a lot of different quests that you can decide to work on one or the other. For example, we have still that quest for 2500 planks now, which is just slowly plodding along as we're doing other stuff. So it's not really idle, because you always have plenty of stuff to work on. We are actually slowly depleting our rocks now, which is interesting. If we turn down the production, do we actually gain it? Yeah, we can. I don't think it's a problem that we're losing out a little bit, because what we can actually do, we can go to the perks and get ourselves a little bit more starting land, and I think that should also improve the resources we have on those lands. So that's worth noting. We actually have some more points to spend, so maybe some more workers per house. Doesn't sound like a bad idea. That's just more people for us. And let's check out the research tree over here. So we can start researching quite a few things. We only have one person to work on research. So let's get at least one more in here. And then we can decide what to assign them. Now we do actually need to pay for our research. It's not just a matter of assigning someone to that, but we need planks or stone depending on what we're going to do, and some of those coins that we've been collecting while selling stuff. Now, just to show you how far this goes, pretty far. So this is not a game you will be completing in an hour. This is all the locked stuff. For now, let's just focus on one thing at a time. Maybe let's start just from the top with the workshop and then have someone else start working on the masonry instead. And as I was talking, we also leveled up our city to level 3, so let's claim all of that. More land to build on, more money, as well as more perks. So let's spend some of those. And yeah, more harvesting speed is probably a good thing, as well as more crafting speed. All of that sounds pretty good. Now we could also go for research construction. Construction cost is actually interesting as well. We do have 2 more points. I don't really think we need research speed, honestly. We don't have that much to research. But sell value, that sounds like an obvious thing to pick up at this point. Everything sells for 10% more. I mean, that's not a bad thing. More money is never bad. Land capacity, again, in here as well. Could be useful, but for now we don't have enough points to spend on that. The research is now complete. We have our workshop unlocked, which allows us to make wooden wheels, shovels, barrels, and we have a new quest for that as well. And the stonemason allows us to make stone bricks, a hearth, a warehouse. Yeah, we are going to need to decide what we're going to be focusing on, one thing at a time. As you can see, some of those things we unlocked, we can't actually just produce straight away. We also need to start researching that. So once again, I'm just going to assign someone to this. We do have the resources for that. We don't actually have refined planks or stone bricks, so if we want to research this, we'll have to start producing these items. So, are you getting the spreadsheet vibe yet? Because I am, and I'm loving it. Anyway, let's see. We are going to produce a couple of new things. We want stone bricks, for example, and in order to produce those, we are going to need a stonemason. Probably more than one. Let's be real. We're probably going to need more than 1 or 2. So let's assign someone to take that stone and turn it into stone bricks. Now I did say we are probably going to need more than 1 or 2 of those, but if I assign 3 people to that, I am actually still gaining stone. So we're producing more stone than we're now converting into those bricks. Now we can use those bricks. We could either sell them, but I do want to start unlocking some of these stuff, and we can now because this just requires some bricks. We could also actually start researching this. You can tell that research is taking a lot longer now. This will take 5 minutes. However, if I assign 2 people to that, it takes less. So you do want to start investing a little bit more in schools as we go. But for now, a couple of schools will be just fine. So let's see, what do I actually need in order to produce refined planks? Because I don't see them in my crafting overview. There's probably a quest for that. Yeah, here. So we actually need to produce 2,500 planks in order to be able to produce those refined planks. That's interesting, but we're actually quite far into that as well. So what we could do, we can just disable the filter for now. I think it's fine, right? Let me know if it's fine. We did assign as many people as we could to the lumber mill already. Let's build a couple more lumber mills though, so we can get that running a little higher. That does mean we're now running low on wood, so let's add a couple of harvester huts. So I could rebalance this as well, but we have the space to build more, we have the people to build more, so we might as well. At some point, we might get to the point where we are running out of space or out of people, and that might mean we need to demolish some of these buildings. You can just remove them as well, and then replace them with something else. So this is not just a game where you just build more of everything. You do need to find a balance. Now, what was I doing? I was adding people to the wood harvesting, and I think it's actually really convenient to use this as well. I want to start producing some more planks. Now, the reason we're actually not producing more than 2 per second, I just realized, it's because we're not spending them in anything. So we need to start selling some more planks. We could either stop selling some of these, or we could just add a couple more markets and make sure we are starting to sell them in that way. Yeah, like that. So now you can see we are... Well, we're trying to sell a lot more than we can, actually. Well, let's maybe not sell everything. And let's make sure we keep this in the green. Well, we are not actually spending them on anything. So let's make sure that we are just selling everything that we're producing. That way, we are shooting through this quest now. We already have a couple of other quests completed, so let's claim those. We can now start harvesting water. We have a new cultivation water spring, and I have no idea what that is. Can we check that out somehow? Probably, but we'll find out. We have new research for the well and a new quest to reach town level 4, which we already did, I think. And we need to produce 1,000 refined planks and 5,000 stone bricks. So yeah, the requirements are definitely shooting up now. But luckily these points should help with that. We have some more space to build. So yeah, let's see. We can get this completed as well. Look, even more stuff. A little bit overwhelming? Yeah, sure. It is worth noting that because as long as you keep adding new production chains to your town, you will be working on some of these quests. A couple of them are pretty simple. Just build something that you haven't built yet. And by doing that, the amount of quests that you get are really manageable. So you don't have to be too worried that you get overwhelmed or anything like that. And there's no way to lose this game. It's important to realize as well. It's mostly about making the numbers go up. And perfect ratios are in this game as well, just like in any true factory game. So you can try to optimize around that as well. Meanwhile, our research also completed the quarry. Let's make sure we keep researching stuff that we can. However, that is not much, honestly. We can research the well and the hearth that we're still working on. We probably need some more resources for that as well, but it's just plodding along in the background. What did we need? What was I working towards? Refined planks. Yes. Focus. Refined planks. Is the 2500 done yet? Yes, it is. And that means that there's now a new item added to the lumber mill, which is the planks. Which also means I don't want to sell all the planks I'm making anymore, but I want to start producing some of those. And we're actually, just by assigning one person, we're already consuming more than we're making. Oh, actually, there we go. I was probably consuming it for some of the research, so that's why it was running back. Anyway, now we're selling some stuff. Are we still producing it? We are, so that's fine. What do we need in order to make wooden wheels and shovels? Let's find out. We need some planks, and we need some planks and stone for the shovels. And all of that is probably going to get us quite a lot of money. So I probably want to start producing a little bit of both of that. Yes, I know, I need the second one. There we go. We're producing some of that. We are still in the green over here, so that is fine. And then we can go to the market and we can start selling some of that stuff. Right? And nope, why not? Where do I sell these things, or am I going to be using them or something else? I am actually not entirely sure. I might need to build a hardware store. That makes sense. Okay, I probably need to research that as well. Do I? Let's find out. We go to the markets. Nope, we can actually already build a hardware store. So let's go ahead and build 2 of them. Yeah, we get 1 person assigned to selling the wooden wheels, and we can assign 1 person to sell some shovels. Now, there's a point to doing this because these things are actually going to get us red coins instead. And these red coins are kind of like a new type of science in the Masonry program. They will lead to newer, better things that we can't get just with the yellow coins. In order to help us stay organized, we can also close down some of these tabs. So for example, if we don't really care about the inventory for a moment, we can just close it down so we have a bit more overview on our quests. We completed these 3 tasks. This just gives us coins. So some of these quests are really straightforward. We have a couple more of those. So do we have 1 to build a quarry? That's probably in the harvesting thing, maybe? No, it's actually in the prospecting tab, which is a new thing. This will allow us to start producing some rock, and I believe that is the natural resource, right? Yeah. So in order to replenish the rock, we need a quarry. So, okay, sure, let's build 1 of those. I'm not entirely sure we need it right now, but as you can see, we did deplete a lot of our resources, and we're not really gaining them back at the moment. So adding 1 to this, it's not having a noticeable effect. I think this gets lost in the rounding over here, because if we look at this, you can actually see that the natural resource regeneration, it's 98% of the actual production. What we are producing 1.6% of the contribution to the production in our quarry. But so if we want to produce a lot more stone, then we're going to need to build quite a few cores by the looks of it. Of course, as we are leveling this up, this will increase as well. And we do have plenty of space to build if that is what we need to do. But let's check back on our quest. So let's collapse this. We did build this one, so let's collect that one. The prospecting speed actually is now something we can research, I believe. No, I misread that. I misclicked and accidentally clicked it away. But anyway, that's not a problem. No, actually, I do know what that was. It was the thing we can now unlock. Not entirely sure where it's in the list. Is this on alphabetical order? Prospecting. I'm probably blind. So we do have natural resource regeneration that we can up here. Capacity as well. And maybe it's in the town perks. Not entirely sure which one it was. Yeah, so it's over here. So this is the one we unlocked, the prospecting speed, which is actually probably not a bad thing considering how low it was. We do have some more points, but before we check that, let's actually level up to level 5. 4 things this time around. Quest points, perks, a lot of money, and more land. All pretty straightforward, so now we can start spending some more of these. Slow, more harvesting speed, yes please. We did already pick the prospecting. Selling speed is never a bad thing. Land capacity, well, none of these are a bad thing. And again, you can just reallocate them as we want, but I think for now, probably getting some more research speed is good, because we do have a lot of things to research. And as you can see, it's not going particularly fast, because this is going to take 21 minutes at this rate to complete that. I can assign a second person to that, but that's not actually increasing the rate that much, because we need to refine planks, and we're not producing a lot of those at the moment. So that's probably because we're selling them, and that's probably taking priority over actually using them for science. Let's check back. Did that help? No, that didn't help, because that was the normal planks. I'm actually not selling the refined planks. Where are all my refined planks going? Is it just the research? We're selling them here. Are we using any of those for the... No, not for the wheels, not for the planks. Shovels, I mean, sorry. But we are just not producing enough of them. So let's start producing some more. Probably a couple of more lumber mills in that case. So we can start producing some more of these refined planks. And now, hopefully, because we assigned another person to that, yeah, we cut down the time in half already. This one is going to take 2 hours to produce. So we are going to need some more schools as well. Speaking of research and schools, because we completed 5 technologies, we now have another new menu for upgrades. Yeah, you thought we had all the upgrades we needed. No, we don't. We're going to get some more. Yeah, look, upgrades. How do we earn those upgrades? We can buy them with money. So for example, we can make all skills level up 25% faster by getting this. And that's for yellow coin. But this is also where the other types of coins come in, because, well, yeah, we are going to need that. In order to be able to buy them, we also need to satisfy some conditions. For example, we need to complete 10 other upgrades, or we need to have a population of 100, etc, etc. As you can see, these things get pretty expensive, and there's a lot of them. So, yeah, this game, I think... from what I've read, I haven't completed it myself yet, but I think it takes about 25 to 35 hours depending on what you want to do. There's actually achievements for this game as well, so if that's the thing you like, you can go after those as well. It takes a little bit longer than just to complete all the achievements, but generally speaking, I think it's still about 35 hours even if you do all of that. It's also worth noting that I haven't been idling at all. I have been constantly trying to figure out what to do next, building new stuff, optimizing things. I'm not just randomly smashing the click button or anything like that, like that happens in some of these games. I'm actually actively working on my town, so I'm not entirely sure why this game is called an idle game. There's not much idling involved. However, there is one idle aspect that I want to mention, and that is also in the perks actually. So once you log out, or if you just pause the game, I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but you can, you actually start getting some idle tokens, some time tokens. And you can upgrade the idle gain to allow you to gain more tokens. Basically, for every minute that you are away, you get 1 token that you can use to give yourself a 1-minute boost. So time passes instantly for 1 minute. That's a way to kind of give yourself a boost after you get back from a long day at work. The game has not been running in the background, but you can use then those boosts to give yourself literally a boost in production. You can level this up, and now I can get up to 900 time tokens. So it makes sense actually to take these points out before you stop playing. Put all of that into idle gains if you can, and then make sure you benefit from that if you want to kind of optimize your gameplay in that regard. Is this game nicely made? Yes. Is this game a lot of fun? Yes, at least I think so. Is this all there is? No. Other than all the upgrades and things like that I showed you and all the new things that will be unlocking, you actually get multiple towns as well. Right now we just have a single town that's located in the plains. The plains give you specific bonuses to certain stuff that they actually have. Unique resources, as you can see as well, unique buildings, and different places will have different things, and that means you need to approach building those towns in a different way than you did your first town, and there's a whole system around that as well. Let me know in the comments. I would actually be interested in making a series out of this, but I'm only going to do that, at least on the channel. I'm definitely going to play the game one way or another, but I'm only going to make a series about that if you guys actually want to see this. So let me know in the comments if you would like to see more of that. Won't interfere with the rest of Incremental Week, don't worry. But yeah, let me know in the comments whether or not this is something that interests you. If you're still here, you are awesome, and I do hope to catch you in the next one, because the next game on the list for Incremental Week is really fun as well, but completely different to what we've been showing so far.